Hey, welcome back. So in this session today, we are going to focus on the neck and maybe a little bit into kind of the top of the shoulder because it's so interconnected to the neck. So a couple of tools that you can use. The gua sha tool can be really great. I said this in one of the other videos. I keep this little gua sha tool in my car, right? And I can gua sha my chest when I'm waiting to pick up kids, things like that, or in my neck, right? So we'll get more into that in a moment, but keeping this little gua sha tool in your car, fabulous. You can use it all the time and use it for your face, which is another video. And then the other thing that I'm going to use for my neck are a couple of balls. Typically, I tend for the most part, I'll keep the two balls in a bag. There will be one part where we come kind of on top of the shoulder, which I'll do some demoing with the ball out of the bag and using just a single ball. A yoga block. So we have a natural curvature in our neck, and so when we lay on our back and get into our neck kind of in this awesome Shavasana position, being able to place the small balls, you could use the big as well, but I usually use the small at that point, on top of the yoga block or a couple of books. This is a 4-inch yoga block. A 3-inch would be great. It doesn't really have to be 4 inches. 4 inches might even be a little bit too much, but it works. So those are some pieces of equipment to have. In this video, we'll do more of the deep neck stretching at the end. I just want to warm our neck up a bit here because our necks do tend to be kind of tight. So I don't want to go into too much deep stretching until after we've kind of rolled and loosened things up. But let's just start with some easy head rolls. So ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then seeing, just kind of testing, ear away from shoulder, how does that feel? Don't go too far here, especially if you feel some tightness, just kind of checking it out. And then as I roll around to the other side, ear from shoulder, that's what I'm looking for. And then lifting the head up, turning, looking back over your shoulder, just kind of noticing, how far can I turn? What kind of sensations do I feel as I turn? So just some little mental notes of how your neck is feeling, and then we'll kind of go a little deeper and retest that at the end. So let's start with the gua sha on this. So our neck is an area that we can pretty much reach all around. I like to put my hair up into a pony or into a bun so it's up and out of the way. Again, you want to use some oil, some lotion, but I can take my gua sha tool and just start to get that scraping down my neck. Again, I can do quick little, do slower long. Now I'm doing this without lotion just because, I don't want to get oil everywhere and touching the camera and all of that, but this will feel much better with a little bit of lotion. Remember, you can sub a small wrench, also works if you don't have this handy little gua sha tool. Now I don't want to massage right over like this voice box area. I'm coming down the side of the neck. You can do your face, that'll be another video. You can come around the back of the neck. I've got some knots in there. So I can apply a little bit of pressure with my gua sha tool. It even has like a little pointier end. Now I said I keep this in my car. Just gonna come on over to the other side. And I keep one of these in my car, so oftentimes, if you've got 5 minutes, you're waiting to pick your kids up from something, or maybe you're waiting in line at Chick-fil-A, you can pull this out. I don't recommend really doing this while you're driving down the road because you do want your attention on the road, and a red light's probably not enough time to pull it out. But right, how often do we end up getting stuck places, especially if you have kids and you're waiting in the pickup line, things like that. 5 minutes, right, can be great. This will help clear some of the lymphatic drainage system out, especially when we do the face And you could incorporate the face in with the neck. But like, this is this is feeling so great. I'm loving making this video right now. Nice. I could come down over the shoulder, and I mean, I have a shirt on, so it kind of gets in the way a little bit. But you can come over the top of the shoulder on either side. So again, 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe if you're working all around the neck, 15 minutes maybe kind of pushing it a bit. We want to bring the blood supply in. It will get a little red because kind of the blood's coming in. Then we want to give it some rest time. Then I want to demonstrate some other ways that you can roll the neck and even right there along the top of the shoulder. So I'm going to do kind of this top of the shoulder area first, and then we'll get more into the back of the head and the neck. So a couple of different ways. What I'm aiming for, and you can tie this in with the shoulder or the neck, is this kind of area of our shoulder where, I don't know if you're like me, I'm always grabbing it, and I'm like, oh, right there, right? It's so tight. So a couple of different ways to get into that. We can do that on the floor in a bridge position, or we can do it on the wall. So I'm going to show you the wall first, and then I'll come down and show you the floor. So I'm trying to get kind of right here, right onto the top of the shoulder, but right in the back of it. So if I move away from the wall so that I can hinge into it, that'll get my shoulder out of the way. And I can get right into that. Now I can also, from here, roll up my neck. So this is with the small ball, which is going to be a little deeper on the intensity, but also a little bit harder to get into because it's smaller. So a lot of times, again, I'll take the bigger ball so that I have, it comes out away from the wall more, and it's just easier mechanically. Yeah, like that is just perfect right there because I'm enough away from the wall that my shoulder's not hitting into the wall. But I am right here. I am right under that spot that I'm always grabbing at. And I can just feel it on. And I'm going to push into it. I'm just going to hold. I'm going to breathe. Right? It's a little bit intense, but I don't want it to be overly intense. Definitely hearing a little crunchiness as I'm shifting a bit. Now, if you're just listening to this and not doing it, you're like, what is she talking about crunchiness? When you feel it, when you hear it, you'll know it. And you'll go, yeah, it is crunchiness. Right? And then I can come up the side of my neck a little bit. Again, the shoulder kind of gets in the way, but I'm going to show you how to do the neck a little bit better on the floor. And I can come onto the back of the neck a bit here. And again, I'll show you how to do this better on the floor, but you can do it on the wall. Now I'll show you the other shoulder down on the floor, and you can kind of decide what works best for you. So we'll do the other side on the floor, and I do like to have a block handy because I'm going to use that to support my back or my glutes. So again, I'm coming right into this area. So if I just lay down on the floor, right, I'm not in that area. But if I hold that ball in place and I start to lift my glutes, now that part of my neck, shoulder, can get right into that area. Now I only brought the block kind of to its mid height. I can bring it up to its higher height, and that makes it easier to get on top of the neck. So it's almost like I'm inverting, right? So this can be a little uncomfortable for some people, right? They're just like, this is just not my thing. I don't have a yoga block. And so they may prefer to do it on the wall. Which is fabulous, but I'm here, so I'm going to stay here. I do like this on the wall. And I can hold the position and floss the arm.
side's tight, but it's not quite as crunchy as the other side. Just noticing differences. I could incorporate this in with my back, right, instead of the neck. Or with other areas of my shoulder. I could come onto the side of my neck here. Again, I'm going to show you a different way to do that in a second as well. I got some tightness there for sure. Okay, and then to come out, I can move the block and come on out.
Now the other thing that I like to really get into the side of the neck and the back of the neck is I prefer the small balls, and I prefer to use something that raises up. Now I do know some people that will use the big balls and they don't place them on anything. They just place them on the floor, and based on the curvature of their neck, it works for them. Maybe you want to place it on just something that's, you know, an inch thick. What works best for me is a block. This one's 4 inches, 3 inches also works really well. But I'm going to take the balls and I'm going to lay it right on top of the block. I'm going to pull my hair up out of the way, and I'm going to bring the balls right onto the back of my neck. Shift around. And I can just kind of rock side to side. I can stay more on one side, so the other side of my neck's not really touching the ball at all. And I'm just kind of circling and going side to side. I can roll more onto my side. I could actually come all the way onto my side. Working into the side of my neck here. And I'm just pressing into one ball. You could use just one ball instead of the two, but I like the two because they balance out, they don't roll away as much. And then when I lay flat on my back, I really get both sides of the neck at the same time. I can come up into the base of the skull a bit. And then back onto my back. I'm getting both sides maybe at the same time. We're starting to lean into the other sides. And then you can see here, this side of the neck is lifted. You know, my concentration onto the other side of the neck. Take some nice deep breaths, maybe roll onto my side, really getting onto the side of the neck. I'm not even going to have to do a retest to feel the difference, because I can already feel the difference right here. This is definitely some tightness. Then come back onto my back maybe. Up onto more of like this low portion. This is a great way to take a shavasana as well. Just close your eyes and breathe. Gently rock your neck around so it doesn't have to be super intense. You can go a little milder, or I can go a little more intense. And 5, 10, 15 minutes max. And then when you're ready, come on up. I mean, I can really feel just the movability in that. Maybe I take just a couple of side to side. And then ear away from shoulder. Maybe I even reach my fingers away this time. Huge difference, huge difference. So some parts of your body you're going to notice those huge differences even more. My neck is always tight, so it's a part of my body where I'm going to notice the difference more. To the other side. It's a major difference. And that was just a few minutes. I really could go a little bit longer, and I could do that consistently. So if you know my neck's tight, right? Maybe every day. 5 minutes before bed, you're going to sleep so much better. Come up, maybe look over the shoulder. You may really feel that range of motion difference. shoulder.
You can do some tucking. The chin to the chest.
That was a good one, my friends. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you found that useful and that it felt good to you. And I will see you back here again soon. Thank you so much.